heard emotions are a normal thing.
I know. That made me emotional.
One week ago at our 500th episode, we asked you guys to fill out a survey. And a lot of you did. 59 people did. We just finished reading every single response together. And it was really cool. So we're gonna share some of those responses with you. If you haven't filled out the survey yet, I'll post another link below, and we would still love to hear your responses because, I don't know, we're still gonna read the answers, so don't freak out if you haven't done it yet. First, like a few kind of like interesting stats that we just saw. Most of the people that filled out the survey watch our vlog every single day, which is actually really cool for me because that's what we had in mind when we were making this thing, was something that people could just like observe regularly and watch us change as you guys are changing, and we could all just change together and keep you updated on mistakes that we're making, not just like stuff we know. Then we asked you guys to like rate how valuable things were. And people said like just watching day-to-day life was pretty valuable. Like you guys ranked that pretty high. What I was really surprised at was how high you ranked the talking segments with Cammie and I.
Yeah.
For some reason, I always feel guilty. I feel really like kind of like long-winded whenever we turn the camera on and just film for like long periods of time. But people are saying that it's valuable to them.
It's not like fancy and edited.
Yeah. But this is helpful because as long as it's valuable to you guys, I don't know why we would stop doing that. I'm kind of surprised that there's a mixed response. In fact, one of the lowest grade thing was reactions to comments, which is still largely positive. I don't know why that's not valuable, because to me, seeing it's like the closest we have to a conversation almost, where we say something, you guys say something, and then we respond. And people love Q&As. I still don't understand this. Partially it's because I don't feel like we get a ton of questions, but one way you guys can continue to help us out with Q&As is ask the questions. If they're weird or awkward, send them to us anonymously. Video questions, just type a text in the comments of the Instagram post. The more questions we have, I think the more interesting these sections are gonna be in the future. And finally, the live stream event got like a really mixed, yeah, it's like probably the lowest value, which is great and fine. We might do another one of those. The reason why I like it is because it's so easy. Besides being a bit of a scheduling nightmare for us, it's like we record it and then an hour later we're done. We don't have to like edit or do all this fancy stuff. We really appreciate all of the answers, all the people that took time to fill this out. We're not gonna share all the answers, even though there were so many that we left out, but we're gonna share a few samples of some of our favorites that really spoke to us.
One of the first questions we asked on the questionnaire was, what were some of the topics that have been the most helpful? Katie, also known as Plant-Based Life, said, all of them. Seriously, I can't pick just one. It's interesting, up until recently, all of the things you talked about, I would say yeah, because I agreed wholeheartedly with you already. Recently, within the past 6 months or so, most of what you talk about, I don't agree with. Either I've never thought of that perspective, or the subject, or your view of the subject rubs me the wrong way, or I completely disagree with you. In all of those scenarios, I'm thankful and don't regret listening to you because it really makes me think. And I love that. I think that's important, being challenged, stretched.
The second question we asked was, what would you add or like to see more of? Amber, who's a teenager, said, more normal family vlogs. I love how you and Cammie sit down every vlog and have an important conversation with us, but I would love to see more of the kids and y'all's interactions with them as a family. Amber, thanks for that feedback. That's actually a really hard thing for us to do, and I'm not sure how. Like when I film, we can talk and then it's like done. But like filming the family, a lot of times they don't like to be seen on camera, and the moments don't just happen magically, and it takes a lot of coordination, so I don't really know how to do that, but I wish we had more of that too.
Nicole from Germany said, I love to see what you add until now, and I really like to see a Shabbat day, but I know this may be too personal.
A number of people said this Shabbat day thing, and I actually was planning on doing it after the first year, and I don't know why I didn't. Part of it feels personal, but I think I'm actually gonna do it now, is film one of our Saturdays and show you guys what that's like, because it's the most special day to us, and I really don't mind sharing it. It's just will take a little bit of work, so we'll try and do that. Next question we asked was, how has Fight for Together impacted your life? And that was actually phrased in a pretty specific way. Encouragement is nice, and we get a lot of people saying things like, you guys are awesome, you guys are great, you guys are helpful. But actually the most encouraging thing for us is specific stories of what's going on with you. Tell us about yourself. And I think that takes more vulnerability, but we got some really awesome stories here.
Alicia shared, I'm a 29-year-old woman that kept porn addiction a secret since I first encountered it on our family's computer as a 12-year-old. I've been super involved with church, youth groups, small groups, never had felt safe revealing that to people or asking for help, because all I knew was that everyone around me thought porn was gross, so therefore I was gross and messed up and a terrible Christian, etc. I have mostly been able to stop after marrying my husband in 2013, but found myself relapsing about a year into our marriage, and then I proceeded to keep it a secret. Cue years of hating myself and turning into a miserable ball of shame. About a month ago, I was finally able to tell my husband. He was incredibly gracious and loving and forgiving and understanding. Our marriage is on another level now, just so good. The process I went through and how I view myself as someone who has struggled with porn completely changed, and that is entirely because of your vlog. I feel like before watching your vlog, I viewed God as a disapproving parent who was often disappointed with me. Your vlog has taught me that He's pleased with me and delights in me and all of my messy, weird, gross brokenness. So because of that, I feel like I'm a completely different person. Completely different wife and mom. I just feel free from so much crap that has been a burden on me since I was a kid. So thank you for being pretty much the only bit of truth I could hear on this topic.
That is so cool. We should have saved that one for last.
I know.
Okay, someone that wishes to remain anonymous said, my husband has a long job that has meant long hours and a lot of missed time together. Your videos open up a conversation with us about how we can best use the time we do have as a family. It's also opened up a broader conversation about whether his job and its accompanying stress is worth the sacrifice of family time. The answer we came to is a resounding no. The remainder of this year has us dedicating ourselves to exploring new options to create more time for family while still providing a fulfilling career. That's cool.
Another anonymous person shared, I come from a blended family. I spent most of my childhood feeling left out. I felt as if my mom and stepdad were a team and as if I wasn't important. My stepdad was very strict and I would cry every day out of frustration. When my brother and sister came along, the feeling grew even more. I honestly felt as if they were the family and that I was an outcast. I grew really jealous of my sister. She had a real dad and I didn't. It sounds silly, but that is truly how I felt. I started watching your vlogs about a year and a half ago. I was so surprised at how honest and open you were, especially when it came to matters concerning your children. I began to see what a family dynamic could look like if people began to talk to each other openly. One night, after watching your vlog, I decided to talk to my parents about how I felt. This conversation revealed a lot of feelings that no one had ever talked about before. Working through these feelings was hard for a while. Not to say this conversation or realization has changed our family completely, but it has changed who I am as a person. It has changed how I deal with my emotions and how I communicate them to people. It amazes me how such a big change can come from watching one vlog episode. Your family vlog is so important to so many people. I love my family and you have helped me learn how to create better relationships with everyone I meet. Although times can still be hard, my family is the closest it's ever been right now. Thank you so much for that.
Man, that sends like chills down my spine.
Yeah.
I'm like really glad that worked out too. Because that could have gone both ways when you drop bombs like that on parents.
Yeah.
Chelsea says, well, we have a daughter now, and I would like to say thank you. My husband and I got married in May. We got back from our honeymoon, and every night we'd come home and say, want to watch FFT? But one night, we sat on our love seat, turned it on, and you guys were talking about having kids. How they're a blessing, and I can't say for sure, but I'm almost certain the topic of why wait to have kids came up. Now, I don't think you were emphasizing on that specifically, but I think there's a lot happening in our hearts already. Then you guys said powerful stuff, and it was encouraging. And this could be TMI, but we literally closed the laptop, had a brief discussion, and went to the bedroom. About a month later, we found out we were pregnant with our little Eliza. It's been such a journey, but it has been so fruitful, so freaking awesome, and challenging. Virtual high five.
Krista shares, you guys are one of the main reasons I've decided to homeschool this year. I think when I first started homeschooling, when Ethan was in kindergarten, I was trying to equip him to graduate from high school after his first year. And so I put him in school because I knew my identity and value was being placed in how well I was doing and not in who God says about me. So we are trying again, focusing on long-term goals instead of short-term results.
Dude, I know how that feels. Faith says, it has helped me to hear from Christians such as yourselves who seem like you've been very disillusioned with many of the ills and unhelpful practices in Christianity, yet haven't become bitter towards God and rejected Him as a result. It's been an encouragement for me to see that one can definitely have hurt, damaged, misled by skewed or less than helpful Christian teaching in the past, and yet choose a way forward that seeks hard after God and unifies the family that He gave you.
I couldn't have said that better myself.
That's how I feel, but I didn't know I felt that way until I read that.
Thanks for that. Kay shares, your example of family and having a large one has been eye-opening. You've shown me that the kids I have will bring more joy than anything I will ever attain. My husband has worked outrageous amounts of overtime for the past 6 years, and after watching your vlog for months now, all I want is for him to be home so that we can have a stronger family dynamic and more time all together. Currently paying off our last debt, our mortgage, so that we can have a piece of that.
Yes. Monique says, I started watching FFT through the birth video. As I was planning a home water birth at the time, it gave me great inspiration. However, since then, my relationship with FFT has developed, and you have opened my eyes to a number of things. I have started reading the Bible for the first time, and I thank you. I don't think I would have willingly picked it up if I hadn't been inspired by your family. That's crazy to me because we never tell people to read the Bible. That's cool. I hope it helps.
Cool.
It's really helped me.
Stephanie shares, I talk about your vlog weekly to people. Your vlog inspired my husband and I to move back to Yakima. Out of the Seattle city, so we could focus more on our family. We moved back in June, and it's been such a great decision. We value children and traveling and love Tim Keller and New York City. Your vlog is a constant conversation starter in our home. We really, really appreciate you guys and think you have a unique message that people should give ear to. You give hope when there is a lot of hopelessness in our culture regarding family and true joy. Many of our friends have given more thought to the value of children because of your vlog. You have a fresh perspective on faith, and I would encourage you to maybe share more of your heart in that area. I loved your sermon you just posted. You are gifted. You should maybe advertise your vlog to churches somehow. I think a lot of Christians would really find your vlog interesting and fresh. And non-believers too, actually, because you come across very approachable and non-judgmental.
All right, all churches out there, if you are listening, this is my advertisement for Fight for Together. It is awesome, incredible, and this week only, it is completely free for you. Subscribe now. And the last answer to this question, I know these are kind of long, you guys, but deal with it. This is a really special thing for us, and I hope you guys are finding some value in hearing your own voices. But Heather Q sent us this story. I know I filled this out last time, but I just thought I'd share this little story. First, a quick update. My dad's health has been declining rapidly over the last year because of his cancer. The unbearable pain and the hardcore painkillers changed his personality. He became too weak to walk or eat or even talk. Then he had a heart attack recently, which he wasn't supposed to survive, but he did. And now he's walking and talking and eating totally off the painkillers. We don't know why. He still has terminal cancer, but it's like he came back to us after being gone for a year. We are very close, and I've always told him everything. Anyway, he called me yesterday, and we spent an hour catching up on a year's worth of my life that he missed. When he got to the part about how this has been the hardest year of my life, he said, "I'm sorry I wasn't there. I hope you have not felt alone all this time." And I mentioned that there are people I sort of talk to sometimes, and that I had benefited from observing people who are a little more experienced than us in parenting and marriage and life in general, and that it helped me accept that I can't fast forward through the hard, painful stuff to the part where things are better. We don't get to just have a conversation and bam, everything is different. We still have to do the accepting and forgiving and changing, but instead of despair, I feel peace about it because it's worth it and we have what it takes and we're gonna be okay. The small adjustments I've made in my perspective and expectations have yielded positive results in my life, and having a place to vent has helped me keep my sanity. He's very happy to hear about these people and asks, "Do you see them very often?" I told them no, that we've never met, and likely never will because they're all strangers on the internet. This includes not just the Crawfords, by the way, but also many of the wonderful people that comment here. The last question we asked is just if there is anything else you would like to say to Ben or Cammie.
Allison says, "Thank you for your dedication to this medium and these people. Your videos have been a light to me. At times, a warm, inviting light to find comfort in. At times, a harsh, bright light of truth I want to shield myself from. It's opened my eyes to my misguided ideas about Christianity, the church, and family. Thank you."
John says, "Thank you for living bold lives and making the incredible effort to vlog it. We pay $20 a month for your vlog. That feels like a bargain. We hope our commitment support encourages and blesses your family. Stop by if you happen to be in Delaware." And they are supporters of us financially, and it's just cool to hear. I don't know, the part where you say it feels like a bargain, that to me makes me feel like our message is valuable to people. Not just because you're paying, but because it's worth it for you to spend your money and for others of you to spend your time on this. It just makes us feel not as alone.
Rachel shared, "I didn't know how to process your videos at first, but I was drawn to them. Eventually, I made my way through most of the backlog videos. I'm 37 and I'm trying to start my family. Had a successful career, good money, but I wasn't fulfilled. I didn't know how to start my family traditions. We knew there were things from our childhood that we did not want to be a part of our traditions, but how do you start a family without mentors? You became that to me." Cammie, you have 6 kids and geez, all of a sudden it's like all these, it's like so much. Okay. Whew. Cammie, you have 6 kids, and I hope I am blessed with 1. We have led different lives, but inevitably the honesty and truth you share is completely relatable. I think you need to do what feels right. I'm a YouTube voyeur. I have thought of questions to ask, but mostly I want you to share what feels natural to you. If this is the end, I'm grateful for the content that was shared."
We didn't get hardly any responses from guys. I think I got 3. And Eric filled out 1 and he said, "Keep up the great vlogs."
Exclamation point.
Thanks, Eric. We will. Finally, the last one is from Kirsty, and she says, "Thank you for sharing your lives with us. I appreciate that at times it can't be easy to do, especially when things are not going to plan, but you carry on and that means a lot. I guess my question is there anything that I as a viewer can do to help you carry on vlogging? For example, do letters help motivate you? Questions?" You know, I was like thinking about this. We haven't even talked about this, but this episode is really impactful and personal for me because a week or 2 ago, we were seeing all our numbers drop and I was just like wondering, how valuable is this? I don't know, it's like a good question. Like we're putting a lot of energy into it and I have a lot of places to spend my energy. I just don't know, we don't know you guys, we don't see your lives, we don't see the things. We just kind of make this thing and toss it out there into outer space and hope it lands. And reading these stories is really helpful for me.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, there's actually 2 things I'm gonna ask for you guys to do. One is, if you're commenting, keep on commenting. And for those of you that haven't, any comment is better. And I would say the more specific, the better. You know, tell us about how do you feel after watching an episode. It can be one sentence, it can be one word. It just tells us that you're out there, because especially for the kids, but I'll say even for us, you know, it's so abstract. You guys have like real lives and children, and your lives are being changed, and you're doing business meetings and scheduling sex and doing all sorts of like crazy things, having children. We've never met any of you though, or your children, so we don't get to celebrate that with you. I think just that comment, it's such a small ask, but it creates that awareness for us and helps us get some fuel off the benefit of what we're doing. And the second like higher cost thing that's a bit more expensive is I was thinking, you know, we put our address in our videos, and I've never known why, like, but I actually would invite you guys to send us something, and I'm gonna say something specific, which is something that's actually a part of your life. Don't make it too big, because we don't have enough storage in our house, but like, you know, a box of your favorite cookies.
Edible is appreciated.
Or like, is there a tea that you drink while watching the show, and you can like write a paragraph or two about yourself. I think once again, this just helps us realize that there are people out there, because you guys are important, but it literally shows up as a number on a screen. It's like, instead of 300 views, it says 301. That's all you are to us. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, this is actually a valuable process for us to go through. And I think if you send us like a letter that has your handwriting and a box of cookies that's your favorite cookies, it's like, oh, there's a person out there that eats these.
Yep.
I'm worried we're gonna get a bunch of cookies, but you know.
Or donuts, or candy. Really.
You were actually saying that you wanted edibles earlier. I forgot about that.
I'm not worried. Not worried at all.
This is a longer episode. Thank you guys. Keep on filling out the survey. The link's below. We have a few things to work out before Shabbat gets done here, but we got to get moving. We have a lot of people coming over tonight because it's like a special Shabbat, like sukkah edition. So it's time to chop some New York steaks up. Okay, steaks are seasoned. I guess we got some extras. Crackers are coming out. The coffee is being roasted. Man, Cammie saved our ass on that one. We were like ready to go into Shabbat with no more coffee. That would not have been a good thing. Don't touch, okay? Oh, that is so hot. My sukkah has taken a bit of a beating already. You can see it's kind of browned up there. Things got a little out of control yesterday. Whoa. My goal with this fire this week is to not let it go out. So this match is from yesterday. And all this wood right here, there's a ton of it. I've been storing it for years. This garbage can, I've already burned bins of it. We got sticks back there. All these pallets are gonna be burned. The fence, more pallets, more fence, more chunks of wood. All of it must go. All these stumps right here are gone. I don't need to burn all this outdoor wood right there, but those long pieces, we're gonna burn all those. Wrap it up, bring it in.
We had this clip the other day, or today's vlog, where my nose was like ugly smushed when we like
ugly smush? Maybe that's cute smush.
Yeah, maybe. Alright.
You're supposed to talk because they're waiting.
Oh, you want me to talk?
Unless you have more to say besides your nose being smushed.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I need some rest. So every Friday night, that's what we do. We rest from our week's work, the work we do on the outside, and especially the work we do in here. And we feel like we can do that because someone did all the work for us, and he did perfect work.
So we hope you guys are able to rest, and in this season of Sukkot, which reminds us by living in these booths or shacks that this world is not our home. There's only one place we're going to get true protection and comfort, and it's not from an earthly home, but it's from God, who claims to be our real spiritual home.
And I'm going to rest tomorrow by having donuts.
You are?
Yeah, because I convinced Memory to have donuts for her birthday.
That is so mean.
Eating donuts?
We'll figure this out later. We'll see you guys next week. Shabbat Shalom.